Okay, so I'm lucky and I have this template. There are 8 different sizes of the same heart shape, and I need a set of 2 of each size cut from my cardboard here. So, and this is an old pizza box, as if you couldn't tell that. Anyway, yes, this is a pizza box that it wasn't soiled, and so I was able to confiscate it for the cardboard. And I'm tracing it. I'm just tracing each size, and then I'm just going to cut these out. And like I said, I need a set of 2. I need 2 sets that have the 8 sizes. And I'm just kind of piecing the puzzle together. It's kind of like a puzzle to make it fit so that it doesn't waste the cardboard. Do I have that size? No, not yet. Okay, so I have them traced, and now I'm just going to cut them out. So I find it easier to cut each, like to cut around each shape that, so that you don't have all that extra cardboard to deal with when you're trying to cut around the shape, which is already hard enough as is because it's stiff and stuff. So I just do this. Like that before I actually go around and cut the individual hearts. And I like to have like a piece of scrap paper or even a piece of the cardboard to catch all the bits and pieces that you're cutting off, like that, so that it will be easier for cleanup when you want to put this in the recycle bin or whatever. So, for example, see, you just pick it up and put it in there, and it's a lot easier. So, I'm just going to cut both sets out, and I'll be back. Okay, so now I have both sets cut out, as you can see. And so next, okay, you have a lot of options. Oh, and I forgot to say, if you don't have a template, you can simply make yourself, you can simply fold a piece of paper, just in case. Hopefully the color will help the camera to focus. So if you don't have a template, you can simply make yourself a heart like this. And so you fold your piece of paper, and then you draw like the half heart. I'm sure you know how to do this, but you know, just in case. And then you cut it out, and then you have a heart. Okay, and we can keep redoing it until you're happy with your shape. I actually kind of like this one, but I mean, you can make your shape the way you want it. And then in order to get the different layers, and you can make as many layers as you want, you can simply trace around it, and you can make it as big or as small as you want too. And so you you trace around your first template, and then you just make it a tiny bit smaller just by going around it again, and then you cut that part out. Okay, and then you have your next layer. And so you can keep going. You can do that as many times as you want, and you can use either this or this to trace around on your cardboard. Okay, so that's what you can do if you don't have a template, but I am lucky and I do have one. Now, your options at this point are numerous. You can either leave them in this cardboard color. So earlier I made this set because I was thinking that these were a little bit too, they weren't close enough to the same size for the effect I was looking for, but then when I did this, then I decided they were good enough after all. But what I did is that I traced around each heart, and then I made another one that was just as small, just a tad smaller, so that I could do this, and so that they're closer like that, as opposed to like this. And anyway, and I guess it does kind of look better, but anyway, the point is that I'm not going to use these. I'm going to use this set to show options of, well, how you can make it. So you can either leave them just like this, you can remove this layer of the cardboard, and it's not really wanting to cooperate with me, but you get the idea. You can do that, and really you only need the edges in whatever your decor is, because the rest is going to be covered. And if you are doing this, it actually is a good idea to leave some in the middle that is not cleared away, so that the glue can have something to adhere to in a later step. Okay, so you can do this. You can do it like this to all of them, or you can alternate like that and then leave it solid and then another one cleared. Okay, so you could do that. And again, like I said, you can leave it all in the cardboard color, or you can paint them. And if you want to, you can paint them like before you assemble them. You can paint them whatever color. Okay, so yesterday the batteries in the camera ran out, and I didn't have replacement batteries. Anyway, so what I was saying is that you could paint it. So off camera, I painted these. This is just acrylic paint. I did the ones that I made the corrugate show. I painted those white, and then I painted these with the red, and yeah, so that's it. And so I did this just to show you some of the options for these. So you could do this all the way, like for all of them, or you could just paint them all just straight, just from where they are, like that, or you could cover them in different papers, yeah, I mean, the possibilities are endless for what you could do with them. But what I did with this is that with both sets, what I did is that I used my PPA and I glued them together, just eyeballing to try and, you know, make it look nice. Okay, and then once I did this with both sets, so I would have glued that set too, and then I put these under something heavy. And I mean, it is a little bit tricky because there's just a small surface there, but yeah, I put them under a heavy box and I let that dry overnight, and I put some wax paper to protect it so that I didn't glue them to something I didn't want it to be glued to. Okay, and I will do that in a bit. And so this is what I ended up with. Okay, so I have two sets that look like this. And so from here, I haven't decided yet if I want to leave them the cardboard color or if I want to paint it. I'm probably going to paint it, but I'm not sure yet, as I said. And so the idea is that this will hang, that it's just an ornament. And what I'm thinking is that I might hinge it so that it will have a photo here and our Valentine contract that we do each year. It's a tradition. So make it hinged and make it so that it can stay closed. I haven't quite decided yet. So once I do have that figured out, I will come back. Okay, so I've decided to cover this side with some of this pink paper, and I'm going to hinge it right here. So, as you saw, I just traced around, and I'm going to cut that out. Okay, and just smoothing out the glue so that it doesn't make it all bumpy, or at least not as much. And then put that on. I've got an old membership card that I use to do stuff like this with. And then I'm just gonna sort of press down. Okay. Then trying to fold that hinge over. Okay. Now, before that dries, I think I'm going to make that hinge stronger by using some of this I don't know what this is called. It doesn't really say, but it's special tape that has string in it, and it's strong. So I think if I put some of this on the hinge on both sides of it, it'll make it stronger. So yeah, before that glue dries there. Oh shoot. There, okay. I should have done that before, but anyway. Okay, now that doesn't need to be that long. Okay, and yeah, it would have been easier to do this if I hadn't glued it on yet. Okay, you can always trim stuff later. Okay, now I'm going to put more glue right there to make it stronger. Okay, and then figure out where that should be. And then glue that on. Actually, it might be easier. Well, no, because then it'll... This is messy. Got glue all over me. Okay, now. Okay, so now it can open. And okay, I obviously need to let that dry. So I'm gonna place that under something heavy and let it dry. Okay, so this is dry enough, and this is how it looks right now. And I've decided that I want to paint it, so I will paint it red and let it dry, and I'll come back when I figure out what I'm doing next. Doesn't really matter what happens in there because I'm probably going to cover that up again. Okay, what I'm going to do now is very messy. Splattery mess. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to let that dry. I really love how it looks. I love that I did the splattery thing. I really love that technique. I love how that splattery thing looks. And on the inside here, I wasn't thinking, I forgot to put my hanger before I glued this down. So this, I just had it there so that it would dry. So what I did is as you can see, I put a hanger on, and then I covered it with glue. Oh, and I put 2 pieces of magnets, hoping that it would work, but obviously it does not. Okay. Well, now I know. I was hoping that I could get away with covering the magnets and that they would still attract to each other so that it would keep this closed, but it didn't work. Oh well. Anyway, so I'm going to trim around this. Maybe I'll do that right now. Yeah, and then I just glued this paper, and I glued it on the hinge too to help make that stronger. Now, can I cut this without cutting the hanger? And so this is where I'm at. Disappointed that because I was hoping that the magnets would help it stay closed so that it wouldn't, but I guess the magnets are not strong enough. Anyway, I figured out how to make this stay closed. I made a little pin. Can you see that? Right here. So you just pull it out and then you can open it. So yeah, I obviously still haven't done anything inside yet, but I will soon. And then you just put the pin back in. And then it stays closed. And then you have an ornament. Okay, so I found it hard to find a photo of Franklin and me together from this past year. I found one of us, but we're wearing birthday hats and stuff. So what I'm going to do is choose one of these. Yeah, and I'm going to try to use my template and try to cut out. Oh, that might be neat. Nah, it would be neat, but so I think I'm going to try and find a heart size that, there we go, that's a good one. We took these photos on our anniversary day. So yeah, the idea is that I'm going to cut these out in a heart shape and then glue them to... This may be harder than I expected it to be. And while I have this out, I'm going to go ahead and do these other two also, because I might use it on something else. Or in the end, I might even choose these two instead of the first two. Okay, so I'm going to cut these four out and I'll be back. Okay, I have a plan. I'm going to use my Xyron sticker maker, create a sticker, and make these into stickers, just so that I don't have to deal with glue and wait for it to dry and all that. And so this side will just be the pictures, and this side will be the contract, and our pictures will be alongside our signatures. I'm going to need 2 lines for mine because I'm on the short end, and yeah, my signature is long. Okay, hopefully I'm not going to regret this. I'm going to just trace around. Yeah, okay, I'm liking it. I'm glad I'm doing it. Just trying to make it look a little neater. Okay, good. I'm glad I did that. So I think, do I want to outline this one too? I think I do. Okay, and I'm going to do that to this side too, and I'll be back. Okay, so I finished it. I tried to make it look like legal jargon for the period of February 14th, 2015 to February 14th, 2016. This certifies that Mr. Franklin Sherrard, and he'll sign here if he agrees, photo and signature of the couple are required. Okay, so this certifies that Mr. Franklin Sherrard and Mrs. Phoebe Thibault Sherrard are Valentines, and then my signature is there. It's probably not the best thing, but anyway, I almost wrote stuff here. These 2 photos were taken on our anniversary. We've been together 21 years, you know, stuff like that, but I decided in the end that I like it just like this, and so I'm just gonna leave it just like that. There is one thing though, is that when it's closed, this is probably going to rub off and mess up the pictures, but oh well. So once it's closed and it has its pin in it, so you wouldn't really know that there's anything inside. Now, if you wanted to make something like this, you don't have to do the hinge part. You can just glue both sets together so that it's like one piece that doesn't open. It can just be an ornament, and if you did it this way, you would sandwich your hanger between the 2 sets, and then there you go. And so yeah, or you can do it just like this, and yeah, you can still put a hanger on, and this can still be an ornament. It's just flat on one side, and that's that. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed my little Valentine. And for some reason my pin doesn't want to stay in, so this might not be a good solution after all.